teach you the next lesson about the fruit of the Spirit. We're on number 4, which is all about patience. Oh boy, I don't know about you, but that's a hard one for me. Let's read the theme verse first before we go any further. Are you good at it? Do you still need the words? I'll put them up one more time. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Galatians 5:23 through 24. Don't forget, once you become a child of God, once you take him into your heart, he is going to expect you to live out all of those things that we just read. He's going to expect you to be able to do them all and do them really well. So when people are around you, they're going to know that you definitely have Jesus in your heart. So, how are you with patience? That's a tough one. Do you wait if your mom and dad are talking and not interrupt them if you want to tell them something? Are you patient when mom's maybe on the phone or dad's on the phone and you don't say you need to talk to them right now? You wait? What about if they're like hanging out with your little brother or your little sister or your older ones? Do you wait your turn? Are you patient? Sometimes that's really difficult to do. Now I get it, if it's an emergency, of course you should interrupt them, but it better be an emergency or probably mom and dad's gonna get a little bit angry. What do you think? I want to tell you a story about a man in the Bible, and his name was Noah. During Noah's lifetime, people were acting really, really mean. This made God so unhappy. It made him sad too, because people seemed to be thinking more about themselves than about God. Noah was a good man. He loved and obeyed God, and God loved Noah very much. God actually loved all the people as much as he loved Noah, but at the time, only Noah was listening. God told Noah to build an ark, which is a really big boat. So Noah followed God's plan and built a boat that was 1.5 football fields long. Yikes, that is a huge boat. Noah's neighbors laughed at him because there wasn't any water in the desert where they lived. But God told Noah that there was a great flood coming, and Noah tried to warn the people to change their ways so that they could hear God too, but they wouldn't listen. They just kept on with their selfish lives. God asked Noah to collect 2 of all the creatures of the earth and bring them into the ark. Pairs of each kind of animals were put safely inside the ark before it began to rain. Noah's wife and his 3 sons and their wives were also safe on the boat. When everyone was aboard, God shut the door. Noah and his family and the animals lived in the ark for 7 days before the first raindrops fell. Then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Soon the earth was covered with water. After it stopped raining, the water continued to rise for 150 days. The ark landed in this large mountain range, and it was during the 7th month of the flood. And then God sent a big wind, and the waters began to evaporate and go away. Noah and the floating zoo had to stay in the ark for several more months while the earth slowly dried out. Finally, Noah sent a raven out of the ark's window to look for land. The raven never returned. Noah waited another week for the water level to go down, and then he sent a dove to do the same thing. And the dove couldn't find a place to rest, so it returned to the ark. Another week passed, and then Noah sent the dove out again. This time it came back with an olive branch. Noah knew that the water was low enough for a tree branch to show. When Noah sent off the dove a week later, it didn't return. The dove had found a place to live on dry land. Altogether, Noah and his family and the animals lived in the ark for over a year. That is such a long time. It was now time for all the creatures in Noah's family to move off the ark. Noah and his family and the animals needed to start life all over again. After everyone left the ark, Noah prayed to God to thank him for keeping his family safe. Suddenly, a bright rainbow filled the sky. This was God's promise that he would never flood the earth again. Can you imagine the patience that Noah had to have to stay on that boat for over a year with all those stinky animals? He didn't even have any friends, just a couple family members. I bet he was really, really ready to get off of that boat, wasn't he? Then he had to send the raven, and he had to wait. And he sent the dove, and he had to wait. And he sent the dove again, and he had to wait. And one more time, and he had to wait. That would have taken a lot of patience. I want you guys to do an activity with me. I put a card and an envelope that already has a stamp on it in your packet. I'd like you to address that to one of your friends or one of your family that is willing to send a card back to you. And you have to ask them a question you don't know the answer to, but a question you want to know the answer to. And you're going to send that in the mail. And then you're going to wait for them to send you back the answer in the mail. No texting, no phone calls, no computer, only by the mail. That's going to take a long time. And then when you get it and you get this all figured out, you can tell me how you feel about being patient underneath this post of the video. I know right now you probably already have some things to tell me how hard it is to be patient, but wait until you have to wait for a letter to go all the way to somebody and then come all the way back. That's definitely going to help us work on our patience. Well, I can't wait to see your responses, and I hope you have a wonderful year. 2021 is going to be so great for all of us. Happy New Year, everybody, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
There was a snail called Herbert who was so very slow. He caused a lot of traffic jams wherever he would go. The ants were always getting mad, and the beetles, they would fume. But Herb would always poke along and sing this little tune.
Have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember that God is patient too, and think of all the times when others have to wait for you.
When Herbert was much younger, he often got in trouble. Forgetting that he was a snail, he did things on the double. He'd crash through every spider web, and with crickets he'd collide. Till one day Herbert's father took his speeding son aside.
Have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember that God is patient too, and think of all the times when others have to wait for you.
As you can well imagine, there's a moral to this tale. Some of you may find yourself behind a creeping snail. So if you get impatient and you're easily disturbed, think about this little song and take a tip from her. Have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember that God is patient too, and think of all the times when others have to wait for you.